Oh, hi, my name is Amy.
Hi, I'm Lanan,
And welcome back to Bingeable Beans.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the K-drama My Name.
There's spoilers in here. Just saying. If you haven't watched the show My Name yet,
Go watch it.
don't blame me if you didn't watch it and you're hearing all the spoiler.
Okay, yeah. And just imagine it's your birthday, you're waiting for your dad, and then he dies.
This middle-aged gang leader shows up to your dad's funeral, who you then find out is your dad's best friend, aka Mujin.
And to find your dad's killer, you join Mujin's gang, you train with him, you grow a bond with him, and he basically becomes a new father figure for you. And then boom, now you're officially a gangster.
Then you go through all this trouble with a new identity, so not only you're a gangster, you're also a cop at the same time.
And then you meet this guy named Pido, enemies to lovers type beat with him.
Then the revenge plan is going and flowing as normal.
But then you find out your dad's best friend Mujin was actually the one that killed your dad.
So everything that you knew that was true was a lie.
And then your man Pido dies.
Then you go berserk.
And you kill
Mujin.
So that's what happened to the main female lead, Ji-woo, in the K-drama My Name. It's a crime action, betrayal, revenge happening in this K-drama. And yeah, it starts off, we're introduced to Ji-woo, and first impression of her, she's like weak, she looks malnourished.
She's
Right.
bullied.
Oh yeah, she's bullied. off
Hella
the bat.
bullied. Oh, you know what's sad? Before he opened the door, like on the way to Jiwoo's house, he saw like the cake and the flowers that he sent her, and it was like kicked to the side.
Oh
Yeah, that was really sad.
Yeah, because she told him on the call, whenever Jiwoo's dad called her, she was like, oh, like if you don't come back, like, you're dead to me now. Yeah, so that was really sad.
Oh yeah, and like on the call, he was like telling her like happy birthday. He was like sorry that he couldn't be home. He was like drunk and like at first like when I saw that I was like so sad for her. Like I was also like mad at the dad at the time. I'm just like why even bother? But then like if you really think about it, like he can easily just neglect her and like not even contact her anymore. But he like went out his way when he's drunk to call her.
Yeah, his call was very genuine too, though. He did really care about her.
Yeah.
But
as a daughter, as a kid, I feel like you can't see that.
Yeah.
You only see like you're gone. You left me by myself.
And she's bullied because of it too.
Yes.
So I could imagine. I don't blame her.
And she doesn't have a mother figure.
Yeah, and we have to remember that she's literally still in high school. She's a teen.
Yeah.
At this time. And then like because of her dad's death, right after, because she's a teen, right? After her dad's death, Ji-woo kind of just went in this spiral, and then she's trying to get revenge, but she doesn't know how to go about it. Remember, she started putting posters out.
Oh yeah, so like when she saw her kill her dad, she was like, oh my gosh, she was sad, and like, oh no, and then the funeral happened. The funeral happened, and then like she met her dad's best friend. Now we know Mujin, right?
Yeah.
So that's when she started putting up like posters and stuff.
Yeah.
But oh my god, those scenes like I cannot watch. It's so like I feel bad for her, like, but it's so pathetic. Like it's like embarrassing. I don't know.
I think it definitely plays a part in it to show that like she's still a teen at this point.
She doesn't know what she's doing.
She doesn't know what she's doing. She's just desperate. She's kind of spiraling kind of thing. Like emotions are everywhere. She's just trying to do something. Kind of a thing.
And she's like confused, like why her dad died and stuff.
Yeah. And going back to what you were saying, the funeral, Mujin was introduced. I think that definitely added to it because he was like saying certain things, and then like she did meet up with him. She was trying to tell him that like, oh, I want to join your like gang, this and that, like to find the killer. And then he gives her the knife. He was like, okay, stab me. You know, but she couldn't do it. And so then like from there he was telling her like, oh, it was like, he was kind of like leading her towards, oh, it was the cop, it was this person, this and that. And so whenever she saw him appear at her house again, it was the cop this time. Captain Cha.
She's just like
Captain Cha. That's when she was going crazy and then did everything else.
No, whenever she like met up with Mujin, he gave her the knife, like pretend I'm the killer, right? Like she couldn't do it, and like he basically like, you pathetic girl, and he slapped her. And like I don't know what, like why. So whenever she put up the posters and stuff, right, and like the whole situation happened where the guys, right, who said like, oh, I know where your dad is or something, like she was gonna give them the money, but they just end up taking the money and like they put her in the back of the car, like tied her up, kind of like kidnapping, but like not really. Yeah. But then like
it wasn't that like they said they knew where his dad is. The dad's killer. They knew where the dad's killer is.
Oh yeah. But like obviously they lied and like took the money, put her back of the car.
Yeah, it was like a scam. They were scamming her.
But I don't know why. Did Mujin help her and helped her?
Because we find out that like that is
there's a reason why.
Mujin is her dad's best friend.
Oh,
and her dad was part of this gang with Mujin.
Oh, so like, I'm helping you because my best friend was your dad.
Kind of a thing at the beginning, yes.
Like he felt bad. Like, I know you're my best friend's daughter.
Kind of. That's what we were led to believe at the beginning. Yeah, he was led, and he did that to kind of like gain her trust as well.
I think that's when he started to like wanted to help her, right?
From there, he took her to the gym.
Yeah. He took her in.
He took her back to the Dongcheon gym, and he was like, basically, he introduced her to everyone. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this is the new recruit right here. Mm-hmm. And that's when we get introduced to Gangchae for the first time.
Also, speaking of that, like, she's like the only girl. Like, these are gang members. Like, all of these people are guys. We don't see one single girl, okay? She's walking in like this fragile, skinny girl. Like, she's looking around, you know? Like, she's not scared. Like, she's not like, oh my God. It's like she has these doe eyes. I swear, if you look back, like, you know what I mean. She has the wrong faces for the wrong scenes. Like, girl, why you look like you want it or something? I'm just no, but like, she's not like,
I think it's like,
she's not worried. She's like,
well, she's like, what is this place? You know, like looking around. She's like,
what's happening? What is this place? What is this place?
Well, she's like intimidated. So she's gonna like, she's
all
like,
these sweaty abs, like all these males around me. I don't know. That's what I got the impression. And like, I feel like you watch it back and you have to agree with me too, bro. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, so she's at the gym, right? And like, she's being introduced with all these guys, and all these guys are just staring at her. They're like, well, like, why is this like random girl? Why would Mujin like bring her in? And yeah, that's when she meets Gangchae, one of the important characters in this K-drama.
Yes.
When we first meet him, we get the impression that he's a little like,
no, the very first impression of him, I thought he was like a potential love interest. I was confused.
Because you're right.
He was really sweet to her. He was excited.
Yeah, he was so nice.
Because for the longest time, he was the youngest in the gym, in the Dongcheon gym. Mm-hmm. And then finally, he was like, oh, like, I'm not the youngest anymore now. I'm the second to youngest. You're the youngest now. Yeah. He was like, oh, you could stay here and like, we'll split up the chores kind of a thing.
Like, it was like a nice impression, I think, compared to like the other guys there.
Yeah, because like the other guy,
the bigger guy?
Yeah, he's a bit chubbier.
Yeah. You show a picture.
He's a little wonkier looking, you know? He was like, a very first impression, he was like, ooh, a girl, like, I want some of that.
Yeah, he was like catcalling her and like kind of making fun of her kind of thing. Yeah. That was mean, you know?
Yeah. But then the other guy was like, Gangchae, he would be like all sweet to her and like this and that. Yeah. Like, I'll show you the way.
And he was very smiley. But I think like my first impression was a little bit like, oh yeah, I guess he's like nice. But then like, because he smiled so much, like in a most annoying way, like you want to punch his face. That was like, he's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't know. That's why I thought he was a little cuckoo, but then he's still nice, you know? Cuckoo, but nice.
Yeah. I mean, I think the smiling a lot was foreshadow.
Yeah.
For further down, you know?
Yeah. We'll get to there.
It was kind of a foreshadow for the future, what's going to happen. Because kind of right after this, Jiwoo starts training with Mujin.
Oh, yeah.
And then she gets a lot better. Yeah. She gets stronger.
I kept thinking like, oh my God, so like, when we first get introduced to Mujin, right, the gang leader, I'm like, wow, you know, ooh. And then where he trains her, I'm like, wow. No, he has that like white button up, right, but the little unbutton, like here, you can see his tattoo. At first, when what's her face, Jiwoo, like was looking at him, like, why are you looking down there, girl? Like it's like he's like sweaty, he's like unbuttoned, you can see his tattoo on his chest. I'm like,
she's literally looking at his tattoo.
I know. But he's like very good looking. Like I can show you. Like he's But anyways, continue.
Yeah. She was training with him, and then she saw the tattoo on his chest. Yeah. And that's the same tattoo that her dad had. So she's like making the connections basically. Mm-hmm. And then from there, they're training, blah, blah, blah. They get to this scene where all the new people, I guess, like they're not official gang members yet. Mm-hmm. They all fight each other all at once in this like cage.
Yeah, she's the only girl with all these guys in a cage fighting all. But like the thing is, like, I'm like,
the tension was crazy.
Like it was. So like they got to the end of the fight, right? And she's like, of course, like one of the last people standing, and like all I could think is like, oh my god, of course, like plot armor. Like there's no way that but like we talked about it before. We think it's because like they doubt her.
Yeah.
There's like a few things. It was like we think like, oh, because like she's the only girl, and so like they fight each other, right? But then they see her, they like
kind of look past her.
Yeah,
because she's like smaller, so it's easier to just like be in the corner, kind of a thing.
And second thing is like she's actually very like skill. She has skill. She has like the what's it called, the skill for it, because all these guys, they're strong, right? They know how to fight, but it's more like force, you know. But she's like more like
mental.
Yeah, she's smart with it when she fights.
Yeah, but I really do, because yes, like you could say it's plot armor, but I think it's definitely bigger on the fact that she's a girl and all these guys just overlooked her, because they're like, someone else is probably gonna get her anyways.
Oh, and then because the last part, whenever she's like going against Gumche, the same guy that was like being nice to her in the beginning. I think like he was just furious, like, and because everyone was just kind of making fun of him in a way.
Well, first it started was like they thought Gungchae won. They thought that he was the last one, and then suddenly Jiwoo comes out of nowhere. So I think this goes well with the theory that they overlooked her. Yeah, you know, because even like towards the end, they overlooked her. They didn't even see her. Yeah, and then she's like, "Hi, I'm still here."
And I think he was really mad. He was like, "Okay." First, he was like, "Oh, easy dub," but it kind of hurt his ego a little bit. He's like, "Why am I fighting a girl? Like, I should have just won." You know?
I think he definitely thought it was easy dub at first. So maybe he let his guard down a bit too. And then like as he's like hitting her, he's like, "Wait a minute. Yeah, she kind of strong." Yeah, and then like, of course, she defeats him, and that
plot armor.
Yeah, that put a big dent to his ego.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he got knocked out, like literally knocked out. Like he only like
when he woke up,
he realized
everything was done. Yeah,
but whenever she won, it was like wow. Like I think everyone was quiet. Mujin
himself came down. He was just like, it was like, and then I think they cheered. But yeah. And then later when Gangjae wakes up, he comes out and he sees Jiwoo like kind of mopping this and that, and she looks at him
and she like apologizes, right?
Yeah, I think that made it worse.
Yeah, like why would you apologize?
I see it from her end because she's like sorry, but like
I think she's trying to help it.
Yeah, she's trying to help it, but she just made it worse.
Yeah,
she made it, because I think that triggered him. He was already upset. Yeah, he was already hurt. Yeah, and then her having to say sorry and like feel so pathetic for him made him feel like so much more pathetic, and his ego is now off the like roof. You know?
Yeah, because I think his friend, the big guy, he was saying like, oh, I would be embarrassed, like I would really kill myself if I was you. Yeah.
I really do think her saying sorry was the cherry on top for him, because he went back to the room and he was asking the guy, he was like, you want to have a snack tonight? Yeah, kind of thing. And then that made him like literally just go crazy from that point. And because of that, like, you know, they try to rape her.
So yeah, he brings his friend, the big guy, to her room, and because like he said like, oh yeah, like don't worry, I drugged her, she won't remember anything. And she's like, they tried to attempt to rape her. So the big guy like goes on first, right? She kicked the guy fell on the floor, the vase fell at the same time, she kind of fell over too, and she like kind of just grabbed the piece of the vase, and then like whenever the big guy was coming back at her, there's like chung, and she like
the noise that it made. Like, there's a whole show, all the noise is so gory, and like
yeah, they didn't need to like put all the sound effects.
Yeah, I said that with a smiling face. I was like, it's so gory. All the stuff. But yeah, it was really gory, and each thing, it was like all these squishy noises, so detailed. I'm like, okay, I get it. This is turning into like some ASMR type of thing. Like, I mean,
not the ASMR. I feel like the visual was enough. Like they had to add the extra.
Yeah, it'd be like, and I'm like, oh, and like sometimes on some of the episodes I'd be watching it at night. It's like pitch black in my room, and I'm sitting there.
You can't even look. Yeah, close your eyes.
But then I hear everything. I'm like closing my eyes, like, oh, I don't want to look, and then I hear.
Anyways, his ball got stabbed, and he's like crying on the floor, the big guy, and then Gumchae's just laughing in the back. He's literally cuckoo crazy, you know. I think he might be drunk. I don't know. He's just like crazy.
I think he just be crazy all the time.
Yeah, he's like crazy from the start. That's what I'm saying. He just crazy from the start, and then he's just laughing. He's like, oh my god, I'm gonna kill you, kill the girl. And then he
chases her. She
runs out of the room. Good thing.
Yeah, but then good thing. Yeah, because whenever he's out there, he's about to hit her.
Yeah, with the hammer.
Yeah, Taeju and them like they stop him, and he's like, what are you doing? Kind of thing. It was a bigger deal because Moojin brought her in personally. Yeah, and then also I think they don't want trouble like this either. They're a gang, but they don't want trouble like this.
Yeah. So he's in Moojin's office right now, right? And he's just like feeling very sorry, but I think at the same time he just like, I think his emotions are valid. Okay, not valid, but he's just crazy. I feel like a different person, they wouldn't like do that.
I always say this: emotions are valid, but then your actions, they're not. Emotions are an excuse for your bad actions.
Yeah, I feel like you should control that. I feel like ego's just so hurt. Anyways, he's in his office, Mujin's office, and Mujin's like, he grabs his knife, we don't know what's going on. Like maybe I thought Mujin's gonna kill him or something, like slice his head off or something. But then it was actually quite like
I thought he was gonna kill him too.
Yeah. And then
Mujin gives him the option.
Yeah.
Face, arm, or leg.
And he couldn't pick. So obviously I wouldn't know how to well, I would pick. I would pick
so what would you pick?
Arm. I would pick arm.
But like face, he ended with a cool scar.
It kind of suits him though. Like his craziness, it kind of suits him though.
Yeah. Because arm, like what if he cuts off like certain nerves? You can't use your arm anymore. Face, like okay.
I feel like me personally, like if I was in the situation, I wouldn't choose face.
Because that could mean anything too, though. Because he chops off your head.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe he sliced your eye. You don't know. You don't know how he's gonna aim. So and like because your face is more sensitive, And I don't want to ruin my face,
my pretty face.
Yeah. So he did it for him.
Slashed his face.
It was so gory.
Blood. It was like
camera was zoomed up to his face.
The blood rushed out like Niagara Falls. It was like
literally like water. Like
gosh, I remember specifically. I watched that scene at night. I was like. Yeah,
that's literally the first episode.
I know, that's why I was like, whoa, like so much happened in one episode that I was like, I was not prepared for that.
Yeah,
but then, moving on to and so after that, like he slices his face, he gets expelled, going to get expelled, and he just like disappears. He's not mentioned anymore for the longest time, and then everything shifts to Jiwoo back again.
He trains her, right?
Yeah, she continues training, but she gets a new identity. He tells her, okay, you're gonna go and be a cop. Okay, and she's convinced to be a cop because Mujin tells her, your dad's killer is a cop. This is the gun that we found, and this is a cop's gun, kind of thing. And she's, that's the reason she joined this gang.
She's convinced that the Captain Cha, like she recognizes his face, but like she joined the cops so she can like kind of like prove that he was her dad's killer, right?
Yeah, and to kill him.
Yeah.
To catch, Yeah, she believed it was him because she saw him reappear at the door.
Yeah.
Like a day or two later.
Yeah.
And she meets Pido.
Okay, so like so before she meets Pildo, she's on this like I think she's given a mission or something. She's like in a different like
her team was more about like murder cases
and then
deaths.
Pildo's narcotics and they were on the same case, but like I guess like there was like miscommunication because they were both at it.
Both of them go and arrest these gangs, like they don't leave, but they're like Pido and Jiwoo are going back and forth on like he's like, no, like I need to take him. No, I need to take him.
Yeah, they're the guy that they wanted to arrest. Cause like Pido, they said they planned this for like 6 months, right?
Yeah,
to like catch this one guy
to be, like, for undercover.
And like he was just so upset that Jiwoo wouldn't let go, and she was like, "No, I'm taking him."
Yeah,
and then Pido was like, "No," and they're just going back and forth.
And from this point, Pido did not like her. He was like, "Don't show your face to me again."
Yeah.
But then Jiwoo moves to the narcotics team,
and then Pido's like, "What?
Why are you here?"
He's like, "What do you mean you're joining the narcotics team? Like what?" Yeah. And then that's when we get introduced to Captain Cha. Because when she first sees him, she's like, "Oh my god, that's my dad's killer."
Yeah.
She's like, "Whoa."
So she kind of has an eye on him the whole time, right? And then Captain Cha has an eye on her too. He's like, he asks her questions, but that's not his main focus though. He just asks her, what's your motive of being in the narcotics? He's like, salary is not going to cut it.
But then she's like,
I want to catch someone. He was like,
he's like, okay, I respect that. You know?
And then he goes on about, but the whole time Jiwoo has an eye on Captain Cha, and then Pido is like eye on her, kind of a thing.
Oh, and then the whole mango guy happens.
Yeah. So whenever she does join the narcotics team, this is kind of like her first mission that you see Pido and Jiwoo working together.
Like he lets Jiwoo go in first, right?
Because he's trying to test her, trying to see what she can do.
Yeah.
He's like
he already doubts her. He's like thinking like, oh, she's probably gonna walk out.
It's just taking kind of long, and he's like, why is she in there for so long? And so he went in there and he opened the door and he see all these people like just knocked out. He was like,
on the floor, all these big guys on the floor.
Yeah, he was like, what happened to you?
That was supposed to be guarding the door. And and he was like so confused. He's like, what is happening in here? And then like as he's like walking in, right, he's like, look, he went down because like not everyone, people were still minding their own business, right? Whatever was like poker, right? Everyone's still minding their own business, but like he had to walk past that down to like the bar, right? And that's when he like opens the curtain, and then that's when he sees like Jiwoo like beating up a guy.
Yeah.
And then his reaction is just like, he's like, what the hell?
Yeah. And
she's like looking at him like, oh, it was her. Okay, this is the part that I was talking about. She literally has the wrong face for the wrong situation. She could have been like, yeah, I beat all these guys. She's like looking at him like worried. Like, why are you having a worried on your face? Like, what the heck? I don't know. It's like she had the wrong face. I don't know. You gotta look. Anyways, so yeah.
But yeah, the point of them finding Mango, this Mango guy, he's like this drug dealer, and there's a new drug circulating, and they're trying to catch the person who is behind all of this. And Mango is one of the distributors, I guess you could say.
And then Mango was like saying like, oh, I'm not, like, I don't have the drug.
Yeah.
And he hit it, right? He hit it pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
But then the next episode,
not well enough.
Yeah.
Because Jiwoo ends up finding it.
Because like it wasn't a spot like you would never think. Because like if you hid the drug like really well, they would find it, because like under the floor, on the top of the roof, like they know where to look, because like you know what I mean, like
that would just take a bit longer to find,
but he hid it where it's like not a place that you would think to look.
It's a little more practical, a little out in the open, I
but
guess.
Jiwoo was like, she found it right away.
It was because
that guy was standing in front of it, right?
And then they're like, there are moments where they're kind of like looking out to the side a little bit, and then like the bartender is kind of like
just sus
acting out. They just acted really sus. They could have been more chillax about it, but the plot is the plot. You can't fight the plot. He found it.
And then so whenever Jiwoo finds it, Mango's like he's literally like so mad like that she found it. And then what's it called, Pudo was like, also again, he's like flabbergasted. He's surprised that she found it like right away. And then these drugs, they're like these big black balls. These big black balls.
Okay.
They
look like peppers. Like peppers before you like
grind them.
Yeah.
They're pretty big though.
I would say it's around black pepper size.
Big balls.
Yeah, sure. Whatever she said.
Okay.
Whatever she wants to think of it. Through this drug, though, we get introduced again to Gangjae.
The one that his face got sliced.
Yeah, the one that tried to rape Jiwoo.
Yeah.
But now this is 5 years after. Okay, at that time he disappeared out of nowhere. But now he's back.
He's a changed man now.
Changed for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Oh my gosh, his neck is tatted up. He literally, his eyes look psycho. You know how like the Joker is, like he's so incredibly psycho.
Now he has that added scar on his face, which makes him like look even crazier.
Yeah, and he'd be like on actual drugs now. This new drug.
Yeah. So he went from crazy to crazier.
Yeah, basically. And he's the one that's behind all of this new drug. Okay.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, he's also like he's the owner of the club or something.
Yeah, he has his own gang now.
Yeah, he has his own gang. Yeah,
he has his own corporation organization type gang thing.
Good for him. Good for him.
Good for him, I guess.
Because he went from like
rags to riches in a way.
Girl. Like he became a follower and he has his own gang now. I think like that's pretty respectable. I think.
Yeah, one could say.
He has his own business. Like I think
you're making him sound like such a good bachelor. Like, ooh, he's rags to riches.
You said that.
The business owner now. You're making him look too good.
Like, had he not if he like just kept it like that way, like he would have just lived a cool life. He would have like been happy. Like, why did he have to like? Okay, we'll get there, but like he didn't have to continue.
But yeah, it goes back to the whole thing where he is just psycho. Like his mind is messed up, and like he's wanting
maybe the
revenge,
drugs too.
The drugs, and like he's been holding on to this moment, that moment where she hurt his ego for so long, like because, or also like not only the ego, but like because he built his like gang and he thinks he's the. He thinks he could do anything. No, it's both. He definitely still held on to that moment because they talk him and like that guy, that bit bigger guy that tried to like rape her at the beginning. They were like, okay, this is the moment. 5 years for this kind of a thing. So they've been holding on to that.
I think they had forgot about her, but then when they saw her again, like okay, yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, because he was like, oh my god, that bitch, because like he saw the camera, the CCTV camera of her face. He like that. to get her.
Really? I saw it more as like they finally found her. They didn't forget about her. I saw it as like they've been looking for her. And then finally they saw her and they're like, oh, she's still here. She's there. They targeted her. That's why they kidnapped her.
Because remember, like, it's been 5 years, right? 5 years they didn't do anything. And like they knew that she was in that organization. And maybe because they didn't do anything, because like she
changed her name. It's hard to find her now. She went by Oh Hee-jin now. She's a cop now, so it's much harder to find her. And on top of that, in those 5 years, I think he was probably building up that gang so he could finally I think those 5 years he builds it up to where not only does he get revenge on Ju, but to confront Moojin's gang to like attack him and like go head to head with him because he like was kicked out and this and that.
I think you're right about the girl, because then that was the whole reason why he got kicked out in the first place.
Yeah,
you're right, because I was like, it's just a girl. Like, why do you want to like go after her this whole 5 years? But then that makes a lot of sense.
It wasn't just a girl. It was the reason he's not able to be part of this organization, and he really wanted to be.
Yeah.
From there were scenes that showed him when he was younger.
Yeah, he was eager.
Yeah, he like straight off the bat in high school, he thought they were so cool. He was like, oh yeah, I want there. And then one of the first few scenes we're introduced with him, and he talks to Jiwoo. He's telling her like, oh, you could stay here and blah blah. I'm gonna move over there one day. That's where like you become official member. That's why I think he definitely did remember.
Yeah.
And then he built this gang to attack them. And then that's what happened. You know, before that though, before the big attack, they introduced this scene where Jiwoo goes on a mission. It's not just Jiwoo, Pido, the whole narcotics team, because they get a call or something. They get a lead that Moojin's group Dongcheon is making this drug on the ship. The narcotics team was trying to catch Moojin's group, Moojin's gang in the act, kind of thing, like making the drug. Okay, so this is the whole scene played out. Moojin standing ahead. Pido is kind of far away, like 10 feet, 5 feet, whatever. He's holding a gun, pointing at Moojin. Okay, he's ready. He wants him to get footage. That's the main point of it. Wasn't even to kill him, but it was to get evidence.
You said the narcotics team wanted footage.
Oh,
they wanted proof.
Yes, but Moojin didn't exactly turn around yet. But then when he did turn around, he saw Jiwoo. They made eye contact, and Jiwoo was standing behind Pido, right? So Pido can't see Jiwoo. At this point, she makes eye contact with Moojin, and she points the gun at Pido. Kind of a sign that like, I'm on your team. Don't worry. Like, I didn't know. This isn't like,
I'm not betraying you.
Yeah, I'm not betraying you. I promise.
Yeah.
Okay?
Moojin was looking at her like, what are you
questioning?
doing? Yeah.
Like, why did you
tell me?
Like,
okay. And then Moojin's like, okay. And then like that's when he runs out, right?
Yeah, he runs out, and then she shot like the battery thing, something electrical stuff to make everything kind of go, like turn off the power, basically.
So Moojin can like run away.
And then she used the gun that Moojin gave her. That at the beginning he said that, oh, this was the gun that killed your dad. It's a cop gun. So that was her way of trying to open the case back up. Her dad's
smart of her.
Yeah.
So smart of her.
And then from that though, remember we were talking about how, oh, she wasn't able to tell him. She was nervous that he was gonna think she betrayed Moojin, betrayed him. Yeah. So Moojin, he gets back. He's furious. Furious. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. She's calling him frantically. He's not picking up. And then I feel like at that point he kind of was like,
I think he like was just so triggered or something. But
so while he's going crazy, he doesn't really want to talk to anybody, you know. But
he's so mad.
And then this Taeju, which is like his right hand man, even all the way back then when Jiwoo's dad was still alive, and the main people were Moojin and Donghoon, Jiwoo's dad. Taeju was like right there with them as well.
Yeah,
he was part of this, and he's just been there the whole time, the longest. He's asking Moojin like, why didn't she call us, blah, 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 which spikes up the question in Moojin, like, is she on my team? Is she betraying me? He's kind of worried, kind of a thing, you know? And then finally he does call her back later, and I think that call was more so to reaffirm that she is still on his team.
Yeah, he was like, why did you call us? Why did you tell us?
Yeah, you can kind of see the emotion. He's like a tad bit softer, like his eyes are a little bit more sad. Because yes, he called to get information, like, oh, so like the cameras, and she told him this and that, where the cameras are. But I really do think the main purpose of that call was to get that reassurance that he needed from her, like to hear from her own voice, like, no, like I wasn't able to call, like this is the situation that happened. I'm not betraying you. I had no other option. Yeah, kind of a thing. After this situation, his trust for her was built even more, was strengthened even more, because now he's like, oh, she risked her identity being revealed just to save him, basically, to let him escape. So after this, he really does hold that up, you know. And kind of right after this call, this is when they get the news that Gang-jae's new gang came and like broke into the Dongchon's gym, and they had that battle.
So Gang-jae was like so the whole point was like to get revenge back on Moongjin, right? So he shows up at Moongjin's like gang gym, and then like basically they have all these like knives, and they're like slicing all these people that are like working out at the gym, right? And then he gets to Taeju, right? And then he like, I don't know what he says to him. It's like kind of like, oh, because you remember, backtrack, Taeju was witnessing Moongjin slicing Gang-jae's face, right? And he's kind of like, in that scene, they don't really say it, but Gang-jae's like looking at Taeju like kind of like help or something, like do something, but Taeju couldn't, because like obviously he couldn't, like he's on Moongjin's side. But so in this moment he's like kind of like smirking and like laughing at him, at Taeju, like your turn, you didn't help me then, I'm this is your turn, you know. So he asked him face, arm, or leg, and then Taeju couldn't answer. He's like, yeah, me either, I couldn't pick. And then he picked the arm for him. But
and then after the attack, that's when the funeral for the gang members happened, the people who died during that attack, right? And at this funeral was where Captain Cha and Moongjin, we see this is like their first official meeting where they interact and they talk to each other.
But isn't it so funny that like he's sitting in front of Moongjin, but he can't do anything about it?
Yeah. Because Captain Cha, his sole goal is to catch Moongjin.
He knows he's the problem. He just doesn't have the evidence.
Yeah, which that shows how good Moongjin's gang is.
Yeah.
Like his corporation, his business, everything is hidden so well that like he's sitting in front of him, but he's not scared.
And even Moongjin's like, you're never gonna catch me.
Yeah.
You're never gonna catch me.
Which is insane. But during that episode, Jiwoo, she finds some information, because at this point she's a cop. She has access to all these old cases, these murder cases. So she's looking at information regarding her dad's murder case.
Yeah.
Right. And then she comes along this information. She's like, who is this Junsu guy? Dongsun Jun. And she asks Captain Cha. She's like, who is Junsu? Captain Cha looks at her and he answers her. He used to be on the narcotics team and he died after a month. She was like, who killed him? He says, Dongchon kills him. And this one is like a huge factor, because at this point she doesn't know who this Junsu is, and she's suddenly like, what? Like, what do you mean like Dongchon killed him? You know, because Captain Cha left the answer very open, very broad. And I think that's gonna play a role down the line in the show. And like after that, Pido and
Jiwoo,
they like get closer, because it's revealed to Pido her fake identity, at least, is that
he's like asking her, he just wants her to say it, but like he's like, oh, you wanted to like do this for your dad, right?
Yeah. Because at this point he knows that, on the paper at least, not like Jiwoo's real identity, but her fake one, Heejin. With her fake identity, her dad is like a drug user, and like he died because of drug abuse, this and that. And
this whole time Pido was just trying to find like out like why she's doing all this, like what is her motive, and he's just like, suspicious.
And then because he's like, he knows her motive, he's not as suspicious. He's like, oh, okay, like we're on the same boat kind of thing.
Yeah. And like it's them skip to the point where she's in the car, and then like he gets in, he's like, and then she was like, he was following her, like, what are you doing here, like we're not on duty or something like that.
And then he was like, why are you doing it alone?
And like he was suspicious a little bit.
And then he was reminding her like, we're cop partners. Why are you alone? You know. So he was, at that point, him saying that was like, I'll be here to help you, basically.
And then they were like up in the building, right? And then they looked down and they could see Mango. It was not Mango. It was like,
it was like the gang. So
they were
Mango was part of it. Mango did attack them. Yes.
Oh, so but it was basically Gang-jae's gang. But funny. It's so funny is because like Gang-jae knew they were there the whole time.
Yeah, he was like luring them there.
Yeah, and Gang-jae like points up and he knows, and then they're shook. They're like, oh my god, they know where we are. Like, because I thought they were like, oh, spying on them, but Gang-jae knew the whole time they were there. But so it skips to the scene where they're fighting off Gang-jae's gang, right? It was just two of them. But then like they get like caught, and then
at this point Gang-jae has caught them. They're like tied up and he's beating them and he's satisfied. with it. He's like laughing. He's like, I finally got you. I finally got the girl that kind of ruined everything for me.
And Pyeodo's like knocked out like on the floor.
Pyeodo is confused the whole time because he doesn't know what Gangjae is talking about.
Oh no, yeah, but also like he was like conscious like for moments.
Yeah, because they like beat him up, kept beating him up.
But this time I think I was like worried for Jiwoo, like not because she was caught. She was like, who knows what Gangjae's gonna do to her, but it was more so like, is her identity gonna like
get revealed
by to Pyeodo, because Pyeodo doesn't know still.
Yeah.
And like Pyeodo's like knocked on the floor, but like Gangjae was like, oh my god, like he's like kind of like looking at her like tag, like laughing, like
like. But then he says Oh Hee-jin, like her new identity. He never says Jiwoo, but and then it just kind of ends like that. We don't know if he does reveal it. We don't know if someone's gonna die. We just know that like they got caught.
Yeah, pretty intense.
Yeah, lots of stuff condensed into the first half. Excited for the second half. So stay tuned for the second part of My Name.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Bye.